Aloha everyone. Welcome to our video series on real estate client trust accounts. These videos are being produced by the Hawaii Association of Realtors and are funded from the Educational Fund of the Hawaii Real Estate Commission. For this edition of the video series, we will be focusing on the definition of trust properties, including the funds that must be put into a client trust account, the legal requirements that govern where and when a trust fund account must be maintained, the process to establish a client trust account, and finally issues related to the chain of custody relating to the deposits into a client trust account.
So, being a new agent, I just want to make sure that I'm doing things properly. And when I'm given an earnest money check to open escrow for my buyer, can you just make sure I know what to do with that?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, just know that anything that you receive on behalf of your client in a real estate practice business has to go into a client trust fund account. It's our job to make sure we protect our clients' funds. It's our job to make sure they're secure and safe. And it's our responsibility as a broker to have a client trust fund account and to do all the accounting. So whether it's a cash, it's check, gold bullion, Allie, you will be responsible for making sure those funds go into our client trust account.
Okay, so with an earnest money check for a residential transaction, it is client trust funds.
That's correct.
Doesn't belong to me, but we're going to be going through escrow, so I would deposit that directly to escrow.
If that earnest money check is made out to the escrow company, then that is acceptable. It'll go right to escrow.
Great. Now, what about for rental properties? If I'm managing and I receive a check from a client for rent or a security deposit?
Anytime you receive security deposits or rental income from your client, it absolutely must go through our client trust account. Even if it's your own property, Allie, you're a licensee. By virtue of the fact that you're a licensee, you are required to have your own rental income flow through your brokerage company trust fund account.
So I can't just open up my own separate checking account for the properties that I'm managing?
No.
It has to go through our brokerage's
Yes.
trust fund account.
Your brokerage needs to have a separate client trust fund account, and you must make sure your rental income, your security deposits all go into that trust account because you are a licensed professional.
So then do I have the authority to deposit that money into the brokerage's trust fund account?
You will bring it into your company and they will deposit it into the trust fund account for you, unless you have been given the authority to do so as a broker in charge by your principal broker. Otherwise, you make sure it goes to your broker, they'll deposit it for you.
Okay, so I'm just an agent, so I'm going to hand that check over to my broker.
That's correct.
In summary, we went over what are considered to be trust funds and trust properties. And basically, these are funds or property that are given to you on behalf of your client or someone else. Examples of these include earnest money deposits, security deposits, or rental income. All of these, because they're considered to be trust properties, must be deposited into the brokerage's client trust account. Now, there are special rules about the client trust account which your broker will be familiar with. There are also special rules about who may make deposits into that trust account. If you have questions about who is authorized to accept those deposits, those are definitely things or questions that you should talk to your principal broker about. Finally, we covered the issue about what happens in situations where agents are managing their own properties. In situations like that, you might think, well, can you just set up your own trust account and put those trust properties into it? The answer is that only your principal broker may establish a trust account, and because of that, any trust properties or funds that come into your possession must be transferred to the principal broker or their designated person in order to go into the brokerage's trust fund account. If you have further questions about any of the issues that we've covered in this video, please consult with your principal broker. Mahalo for viewing our video series.